Our attention turns to the port strike happening right now along the East and Gulf Coasts. The nearly 50,000 workers are calling for higher pay and other demands to be met as contract talks have stalled.
So how will that impact us locally? Western Mass News reporter Olivia Hickey joining us live in studio after getting answers from local businesses. Olivia.
Abby and Chris, with essentials from car parts to food entering those ports daily, it can impact all of our households. But with imports and exports making up a large part of our economy, one local expert tells me this could have a large impact.
Port workers now picketing on the East and Gulf Coast for the foreseeable future until demands like higher pay are met.
It's going to be a big hit if we can't get stuff brought in.
Businesses across Western Mass like Chicopee's KLM Auto Repair rely on the ports for the shipments of supplies needed to work on cars. He tells Western Mass News if a contract agreement isn't reached soon, we could see the brakes slam on progress and the gear shift reversed back to the COVID-19 pandemic.
We'll be back waiting for quite a long time to get this stuff, and especially when they run out of their supply that they have in stock now. You might have to prepare for having your car out of commission for an extended period of time.
Down the street at Fruit Fair Market, co-owner Sam Newell tells us it's too early for customers to worry about costs. But over the coming weeks, they may notice shelves of boxed and canned goods beginning to dwindle. As for perishables like produce and meat, they should be all set, since most of those essentials are supplied locally.
There is power in buying local, eating local, supporting local, because these things can happen, and it's a reminder that when there is fruits and vegetables and meats that's being grown in your backyard by your fellow community members.
We also caught up with John Rogers, an economics professor at American International College. He tells Western Mass News the last port strike in the U.S. was in 1977.
They gum up the entire supply chain, and once that happens, even if the strike is over, it takes, people estimate, something like 4 days for every day of the strike to get things back to normal.
He points out about 20% of our total economy relies on imports and exports. He explains this time around, it could have a greater impact on our lives.
We take it for granted that these goods flow back and forth and everything works pretty smoothly.
Rogers says the strike can impact the jobs of truck drivers as well who transport goods to and from the ports. And as for holiday shopping around the corner, Rogers says you should have no issues buying your gifts. Stores usually stock up for that months in advance. Reporting live in the studio, Olivia Hickey, Western Mass News.
Thank you for that live report, Olivia. Still ahead, the Western Massachusetts community is coming.